Hey guys, my name is Adam. I won a regional this weekend, playing the worst deck in the room. I'll show you that in a second. It's really exciting for me because I've never won a regional before. I've come second a bunch of times, but this weekend I finally managed to win. I went 6-0. I 2-0'd everybody. It was just my weekend, I guess. And I'm here to show you the deck I did it with. First, I want to show you this sweet-ass pick deck box that I got that I don't really care about. And of course, everybody wants to see the spectacular waifu mat, which I also don't care about. Because I have a gem play mat. Amazing! So anyway, on to the deck profile. So I played triple Candina, triple Icarus, one Lily. So yes, I played Trickstars. Not really the worst deck in the room. Actually a really good deck. Especially to counter the meta, but I really want this to not get hit by the banlist. One Lily's correct because otherwise you draw it way too much, and you don't want that. You want to search it, and then she just is used for all your recycling plays. The one Gofu, I really wish it still had 3. This card is amazing. I did some extra deck picks for it that I'll show you in a second, as well as some like sort of basic standard plays or the general plays that I ended up doing with it. It's really good. And then Hand Trap City, 3 draws. Mainly for the combo, to be honest, and Spiral. But I opened the combo twice today, or twice this weekend, and only resolved it once because the first time I tried to do it, I fucked it up because I was like, oh my gosh, I finally have Draw Reincarnation in hand. So yeah, this was good. Wouldn't cut it because the combo is broken. 3 Ash, 2 Ogre, 1 Maxi. 3 Ash is just 100% correct. Staple. I saw a lot of people cut Ogre to 2 a while back. And this is after I cut Ogre to 2 like 3 weeks previous to that. So it was cool to see like big players sort of also cutting it to 2. So it made me feel like I was on the right track, which was nice. And then the 1 Maxi. Drew it once, never used it. Have to run it because, you know, Maxi is a card. But yeah, it was kind of subpar. Then Triple Terra, Triple Stage, 9 Candina basically. This is amazing. I generally always opened like a Terra and a Light Stage all weekend, so I generally like just opened some really broken hands. Really good. It was good stuff. Then other 3 of Scapegoats. Some people play 2, but my argument is this card wins you the game whenever you draw it, so you should never cut it to 2, because even if you do draw multiples, which kind of sucks, like drawing it is just so much better. So yeah, I ran 3. It was really good for me. People didn't just kind of didn't read it, didn't read that I had it, and then you just go off in the end phase and wreck their face. So that's all the 3 ofs, 2 ofs, 2 desires. I run with the idea that I'll run as many desires as I want to resolve plus 1. So this deck wants to resolve probably at max 1 desires, so I'll run 2. In more combo heavy builds, I would run, or like in more combo heavy decks, I'd run 3, but like 2 is just fine for this deck. And then 2 Cyclones. This was amazing all day. I definitely want to bump this up to 3. I'll talk to you about that with like side deck choices and traps and stuff in a bit. But like this card is really good. This card just did so much work. It was insane. And then 1 Ovs, 1 Dark Hole, 1 Regeki. I was kind of like debating Dark Hole, but it worked out really well on the weekend, and like I wouldn't cut it now. It's cool. It did its job. Then traps. 3 Reincarnation. I love this card. This card is amazing. This card is literally what won me the regional, because nobody really played around it, and if you flip this at the right time, you just kind of have to play smart. You read their hand, and you read when to flip this, so you don't always just do it like on the draw phase. Like a lot of the time, it's smarter to wait for them to add, especially if you can see, like, so for example, if they start setting cards, so like if they set 1 card, then you consider maybe flipping this after they set a card, because you can see that they're playing around Reincarnation. But otherwise, yeah, you should definitely like just kind of read the room a little bit. I generally prioritize searching this with Candina over Lycaris because, like I said, I opened Stage Terra a lot, so I could always kind of end with this plus Stage plus Lycaris, which is really good. Prioritizing this is really important. Like, the priority list goes Lycaris first because you want to bounce your Candina to get as many searches as possible. But then, like, eventually, especially as we start, like, whittling away, because, like, this card gets a little bit worse as the game goes on, and you definitely want one engraved as early as possible. So, like, try to get to this turn 1 if you can, unless you have a really awkward hand that's, like, Candina, set a trap, pause, which is not great. Then other traps, 2 strikes and a warning. And 1 torrential tribute. So this torrential tribute was originally another strike. I would either cut it for a 3rd strike or for the cyclone because this came up. This came up all weekend. Like, it was so good. But this I drew once and it never came up. And, like, I guess it's situational, but the idea just was, like, we had a pendulum magician heavy meta, so strike kind of just does more in a lot of instances. The only thing that torrential does better than strike is, like, if you overextend into the board, then it's a little bit better. And then the spice that you probably saw when I was fixing my camera, 1, 2, 3, evenly matched in the main deck. This is obviously for when you lose a dice roll and need to go second. I went second so many times today. I only drew this going second once, game 1 against ABC round 3, and it completely blew him out. Like, when that happened, I pretty much knew I won the regional because I figured, like, the guy playing ABC was probably one of my toughest matchups, and I blew him out with evenly matched in game 1, and it just steamrolled from there. Then game 2 it opened, like, terribly. And then round 6, game 2 as well, last round today, I drew this in game 2, and I knew, like, if I resolve this or not, I've won. You shouldn't, like, I would argue, always run 3, because the thing with Trickstars is you also don't make a big board. So, like, a lot of decks get hindered very much by light stage. So, when they start to clear your board, they'll also clear the light stage. So, like, your traps are usable. They'll clear your white monster. They'll clear your light stage, which means that if you keep this in hand instead of setting it, like, you have a blowout even in, like, mid game. Because especially as the game goes on, more and more resources start getting committed to board instead of in hand. Which means if you top deck this, like, and you're really in a pretty rough position, like, and you have, like, a reincarnation grab or something, it's just insane. So that's the main deck. 42 cards. I liked 42 mainly because I could play the evenly matched and still have, like, 39 cards to play around with. So that was cool. And then extra deck quickly. So 2 Link Spider, really good. Wouldn't bump it to 3. 2 is fine. 2 did enough. And then Link 2s. 2 Mrs. Radiant. This is why I wouldn't run the other Link Spider, because a lot of the time you're using your you're either initially using Gopher tokens to get into Link Spiders to get into her, or, like, a Scapegoat token can turn into this. So, like, you're fine. Like, this is generic enough to work instead of Link Spiders, and, like, it uses up this a little bit less extra space. And then 1 Ib, 1 Proxy, mainly for the combo. Burning Proxy didn't really care about, and then Ib for the Ningersu combo, which is fine. Ib was also, like, the one that I made, like, when I would summon a Trickstar with Scapegoats on board. It was cool. Then last rank 2 Akashic. Theory behind this is that it works mainly with Kaijus, and just out really, like, weird, annoying boards, especially if people don't care about how they set, like, what zones their something monsters do. Then Holy Angel, obviously. This card's really good. This card's amazing in Trickstar. Yeah, I summoned it, I think, only about 2 or 3 times, but obviously I sat on it until I won the game. It was really good. I wouldn't bump it up to 2 though, because this deck really goes into extra deck, or at least I rarely did, and when I did, it was off the Scapegoats, not off the Trickstars, except for the odd occasion where, like, they couldn't get over Lycaris, and then I'd summon the Candina, make Holy Angel, and then, like, use a Reincarnation Grove or something, but it was cool. Like Hot Angel was good. Ningirsu, only ranked link 3. So good. Used this, I think only once or twice. Once was to push for damage, and the other time was to out a Decode Talker by sending Light Stage, because the Decode Talker was backed by a field of Scapegoats. So I needed to get rid of the Decode Talker without it being targeted. Then link 4s, Barload and Firewall. Never made either of them, unfortunately. Made Barload a hell of a lot in testing. Card's really good, and then Firewall mainly for the loop. It's solid otherwise, but like I didn't do the loop today, so that was kind of a bummer. Still fine. And then one Breaksword, really good. Use it to out a Powerful Dragon because this deck cannot attack over big things. And then the one Omega. So this was amazing all day. So this was my obvious main Gofu play. But I'll show you sort of the other option for the Gofu package now. So the other option for the Gofu package was Ancient Fairy and Bagushka with a Mrs. Radiant combo. I just put these in to try it out. But the thing is, it never happened. So when I opened Gofu, my hands were usually good enough that I would want to make like Mrs. Radiant, Omega, and Lycaris, and then banish the Omega. So I do this crazy thing where it's like in their standby phase, I'd banish their hand, and then use Reincarnation to bring back the other Lycaris, and then also put back the Reincarnation with Omega. And then wait until main phase and then banish whatever they drew new off the Reincarnation as soon as they got the chance to. This was really good, and this is why like I didn't need these. I just went into this because I would go like I would set it up so I had like something, this, and a Lycaris with Light Stage with the Reincarnation set, and it was just so good. Like, and plus this deck struggles to beat over big things, and 2/8 is huge. So I would definitely run those in future. Like I said, this combo was here because it was cute, and I wanted to try it out. Didn't really come up for me. It's not to say it's bad, but like it just didn't really come up for me too much. Like in odd occasions, it can be cool if, for example, you need to sort of force a Light Stage search. But yeah, so that's mainly an extra. Side deck was pretty irrelevant, but I'll go through it anyway. Side deck was 2 Ryo, mainly for Spirals going first. I played 1 Spiral. I 2-0'd his face, so I never got to go first, so these never got to go in. The theory is also there that it's good for the mirror match. It was either this or Honest, because I didn't main Honest. And I was perfectly, like, this just worked really well in testing, but it never came up, unfortunately. Then the Kaiju package, so Slumber and the 3 Kaijus. Also never came up all day. Once I drew this, I never used it because my opponent bricked, so like this was dead in hand, and then another time I drew this off Pot of Desires, and I was like, minus 50, thanks Pot of Desires. So I never came up. The theory is that it's good, and I wouldn't necessarily drop it, so here you go. 1 Coffee Cyclone, this has to go in the main for me. It's either dropping the Torrential, it's likely dropping the Torrential for this, or Torrential for another strike, and then still keeping this inside, or siding the strike, maining this, and dropping the Torrential. But this this was amazing all day. It's the only side card I drew, mainly because it was like one of the only side cards I ever saw. And then 3 Dim Barrier and 3 Anti-Spell for Magicians. Didn't play Magicians, unfortunately, all day. I had all this hate for them going first. And this was also there for Rogue. Came in against Invoked, but never really came up. Yeah, so the theory there was good. I wouldn't necessarily change my side deck, it just didn't really come up much. And then lastly, Heavy Storm Duster, mainly for the mirror, also went in against Peleos. Yeah, it was fine. I didn't really see it that much though. But yeah. So anyway, that's the deck. I hope you like the profile. I'm sorry that it's not quite like a YCS second place or YCS winning deck. It's just a small regional. But I wanted to do a deck profile because I was excited because I won. It just took me a while to do it. And yeah, I hope it gives you guys some insight, can give you guys a little bit of insight on my choices. Shout outs to all the guys in Durban, so where I played the regional, so shout out to them, because if we didn't have people, we wouldn't have regional. And mostly shout out to my buddy Jean, who came down to Durban, flew down on the Friday, helped me test, sort of helped me decide that this was definitely the deck I was going to play. Came third, so shout out to him, who's playing Pension of Magicians. Wish I could have played him, so I could have wrecked his face, but you know, he probably would have beat me. So, yeah. I'm glad I won the regional, and yeah, I hope you guys learned something from my choices, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.